So, the next day, I woke up and I decided to spend it with Sebastian, seeing as you've got to remember the day before, Morgan did threaten him. So, I just wanted to keep an eye on him, plus I kind of had a crush on him and I didn't want to lose him. Anyway, we spent most of the day at the hospital just trying to make sure Sebastian could do his job. While at the hospital, Morgan had come to the hospital, which meant that the hospital needed to go on lockdown and everybody needed to hide. I hid in the back office with Willie, Charlie and Orion, but little did that I know that this lockdown would be a close bonding experience for them, and I would find myself with a great friend for life in Orion and Charlie. In one of the surgery rooms was Seb and Charlotte. Being away from Sebastian in this kind of life or death situation, especially after I knew about the Morgan threat, I was very panicked. I just wanted to go back to Sebastian to make sure that he was okay. After the police managed to get Morgan to go away, it was then announced on Twitter that her and her corpse boyfriend was set to be wed on the beach. Seb didn't want to go because he didn't want to anger Morgan after the threat that she made towards him, and I wasn't leaving his side anytime soon due to the terror and fear that I felt while being away from him in that tense situation. But it also kind of made me realise how much I like Seb. A few hours later, everyone then came rushing back to the hospital, and me and Sebastian stood up wondering what had happened. Sebastian went to go and get his job done while I went to go and find out information. The information that I did manage to find out was that Morgan and her fiancé got to the "you may hug the bride." The husband hugged Morgan a little too tight and snapped her in half, which killed her. And then the cops shot the husband and he died again. Well, that was the end of the ordeal at least, although there was a massive crime scene in the hospital now. At least I could go to bed feeling a lot safer that night, knowing that nothing bad would happen to Seb. I wouldn't be able to handle it. After two major things happening to the people I love, I'm now thinking of maybe becoming a therapist for the city to try and help people deal with their trauma that the city has caused them. But anyway, that's enough for today. Now the next few days will have to be bundled up into one long post, because if not, it means, they're going to be like 2-second mini bits. But anyway, so started off me waking up, checking in with Seb after the whole Morgan thing from the night before to find a new janitor working there. Or more precisely, he was cleaning while people were trying to get rid of him. Anyway, I left them with that. I went to go and spend some time with Seb before he had to fully get invested in work, and I had to go to Tequila La La. I all turned up having to deal with PD stuff. I wanted to have a quick chat and check in with him because it's been a long time since we spoke, and yeah, I do care about the man. One of the days the mayor came into town, and I always love having chats with the mayor. She let us know that the general election for mayor will be happening in the new year, and that she'll be running for mayor again. I'm so happy about this because I love her, and I so want her to stay as mayor, as she's done a wonderful job so far. Hashtag Mayor Marshall for Mayor 2023. While I was visiting Seb in the hospital, Tate and Ivanka walked into the hospital and told everyone that they had been to a cave and come back with a demon pike that needed to be disposed somewhere. Seb then said he would be happy to follow along and give them a ride back if needed. Ivanka and Tate went into the closet to get ready while me and Sebastian spied on their conversation through the wall. They're pretty funny together. We all then took the demon bike to the pier up north, and some of us followed along in Sebastian's car. As we reached the pier, Sebastian took this really cute photo of me, but then he also followed it up with another photo of me trying to run in sand. Look, running in sand in heels is hard. Don't judge unless you've tried it. Anyway, I always love the times I get to have late night drives with my friends. I value all friendship quite a lot, and these late nights they're the best. Now, I'd woke up in my apartments like I always do, checked my phone and saw that Dirk was in the city. After giving him a quick call, I decided to go to Tequila La to see him, as I didn't see him in a few days. So, I made it up to Tequila La, as I wanted to come and see Dirk. While I was here, we then remembered about Stella. So I phoned Stella and said to her I have a surprise for her, but I didn't tell her what the surprise was. A couple of moments passed and Stella turns up at Tequila La. Dirk jumps out from behind one of the pillars in the bar. We all had a little catch up about things and how that we've missed him and everything. And especially the fact that I get scared working behind the bar as myself, because I'm still trying to learn how to deal with big crowds while being a bartender. But then Dirk takes a photo with both of us, saying that we are both his main girls. During this entire conversation between us, I had been texting Sebastian to let him know that I was at work and that I'd go and see him when I'm done. But instead, Sebastian turned up at 𝐵𝑇𝑒𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒪 to surprise me. After a discussion with Sebastian and checking in with him, I went outside for a breath of fresh air while Sebastian went for a nap. While we were outside, Dirk had phoned me to ask if I could see him, as he was on top of a high building, to which then he took a photo. You see that massive building there with the butterfly on? That's what he was on. After Dirk posted that picture on Twitter, Wayne turned up and did the same thing that Dirk did while climbing up to the top of this tower. The only difference between Dirk and Wayne is that Dirk got down safely, whereas Wayne fell and needed to go to hospital. I then had a text message saying that Bobby and Stella was having a house party and the number of the location. I just had to know that I had to pop in and make an appearance, as it's two of my closest friends. I always support them and they always support me. Plus, gotta give them a little treat of alcohol. I came, I showed my face at Bobby's house. I had a wonderful, wonderful time. I came, went in the pool for a bit, had a chat on their balcony. You know, just fun old times. After staying, having fun, I had to leave and go to the hospital so that I could check on Sebastian before 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒 arrived in the city. 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝑒𝐻 is my older neighbour from another city. I needed to go back to the hospital. I came to the hospital. As soon as people saw me and Sebastian together, they kept pestering Sebastian to ask me out, seeing as they kept saying that me and him would make a cute couple. And it just... it's a good job we love our friends. But anyway, after we had finished sorting some business out that we needed to sort out, 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻 arrived in the city. I went to go and fetch 𝐿 and I took her clothes shopping as Sebastian wanted to get a new outfit. And me and 𝐿 just had a little bit of a chat and everything. For a while, I was showing 𝐿 some of the sites in the cities that would be important that she needed to know, like where the hospital was, where the bar that I worked at, if she wanted to get to me quickly, was. Just things like that. By the time I made it back to the hospital, a few extra people had turned up. Even the new people in the hospital was telling Sebastian to hurry up and ask me out. Sebastian then pulled me to a side, literally over there where the janitor's thing was. Said that he was going to get down on one knee and that I had to clap. Which after I did, 𝐿 and 𝐶𝑒𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻 came running over to us screaming, "No, we told you to ask her out, not for her to marry you." Owl then walked over, tried to marry us both, and we were just so stunned with giggles that we were just like, what the fuck. 𝐶𝑒𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻 then tweeted a photo of me with the caption, "Face of regret." I wasn't having any regret, although I wasn't exactly married. I was just answering a text and checking Twitter. With that being enough excitement and confusion for one day, I decided that it was time for bed. So I went to sleep on a smile on my face from the prank that me and Sebastian had pulled off successfully. The next day, I had woken up in the city and it turned out to be Logan's launch party. Now, Logan's a local reporter that is the best reporter in the city. But anyway, it was her launch party today. Me and Sebastian had got matching red outfits to go to the launch party as dates together. Logan then also phoned me and asked if I could cater the party, which I said yes. Went to 𝐵𝑇𝑒𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻 to get some drinks ready before heading over to the party. Once I had arrived at the party, we started bumping into all of our friends. There was Wayne, April, 𝐶𝑒𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻, Logan, Bobby, Stella. There was just all sorts, so many people. I of course had to get some cute soon-to-be couple photos with Sebastian because we looked so cute together. We also had to get a photo with my best friends Bobby and Stella because why not? 𝐶𝑒𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻, the chief of the hospital, also came over to speak to Sebastian, but also asked me for some drinks, and to which I said, sure. He then also gave me $1,500 to cover the medical staff's drinks. Like, what the hell? Logan then wanted a photo, and I got into that because gotta have photos with the besties. Then somebody started singing a song that was played at Solaire's event. With that still being kind of raw to some of us, we thought that person went a little too far. We then decided to call a party there and let's go home. So, me and Sebastian started walking to the impound to grab our cars. We also came across a PD sign that is called Davis's PD. See, as my last name is Davis, I knew I needed a photo. Wouldn't it be cool to one day own this building? But that's just a joke. Anyway, we got to the impound, got our cars. Arriving back at the hospital, I'd bumped into 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒪 and asked if he could, maybe see if he's got anything fun he could do with us. To which he said that he knows a demon mineshaft that he could take us here. We both said sure. We grabbed a group of us together. There was Levi, Orion, Hugh, Seb, 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒪, and me. And then of course 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒄, he was taking us. And he also invited LaRue along as well. While at the hospital and outside, all talking about what was going to happen in this cave, Levi took a photo of our feet and captioned it with, "Isn't this what the kids do, right?" So, the entire group, excluding Bert though, as he had something else to do and didn't want to come down, all came to the cave. This behind me is the cave. 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒃 had also brought LaRue along, like I said. They were shown around the cave and I had a really, really fun time, as I loved things paranormal. Well, that was the case until 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒃 decided to play a little prank on me. As everyone was walking back away from one of the dead ends, 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒃 jumped out from behind a wall, which made me slightly jump and accidentally whack Hugh with my flashlight, who was standing next to me. Oops, really sorry, and it also made me feel really 10 times worse because I'd hurt him. After finishing what we was doing and everything, we had come back out to find LeChuck and 7 outside the cave, and someone took a really cool photo of us outside. We had stayed and, had another look around. With that then being enough, exploring for one day. You can slightly see inside. Look how creepy that is. Oh. What the hell? Can you see that tall thing? What is that? I think we're done for enough things. Even now, I'm getting slightly creeped out. Let me try and quickly wrap this up. I'm keeping that there so I can keep an eye on it. With that being enough adventures for one day, we decided to go home, go to bed, ready to see what would happen tomorrow. And that's what I'm doing now as well, because that is creepy. So the next day started with me waking up and going to the hospital to check on Seb. While there, I bumped into both Bert and April. After a while sitting and talking to them, 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒃 came into the city, and I introduced you to some of the people at the hospital that wasn't there yesterday, e.g. April. I also took her to the barberers because we wanted to get makeovers and get new hairstyles and just have a good girly day. The same people from the demon cave the last night was supposed to go vampire hunting tonight, which meant that we all wanted to go and get vampire hunting clothes. So we went to the nearest clothing store and saw what we could find to wear. I then realised that I looked good in all leather, just saying. After finding outfits, we all went back to the hospital to wait for the adventures that we was going to have. I kind of had a little accident and had to be rushed back to the hospital to, be patched up and everything. But it's worth it, it's okay. After being seen, I looked on Twitter and noticed that someone had posted a photo of me and Sebastian saying Megan Fox and MGK are in the city. For fuck's sake, it's a good job we love the people in the city. After having a giggle with Seb, he then told her that the public needed to leave the hospital. It very much scared me. They had to go in another lockdown. I gave him a kiss and told him to be safe and to message me later when things have calmed down. I then left with 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻 and we went to look around the city more stuff. I even showed 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻 where I worked again, just so she could drill it into her head where I'd be. Once a little bit of time had passed, I got a text from Sebastian saying he was fine and everything had calmed down. We all decided to meet up at the pier. So, me and 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒪 came here, Sebastian came and met us here. We had a nice evening together. 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒪 played in the water. Me and Sebastian had a nice romantic talk on this little bit of a beach about where things were going and where we would like things in the future to go. It was just a nice and lovely time. Seb then decided that he had enough for one night and decided to call it night. So me and 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒪 decided to go and do some things on our own. I first had to get a photo of being in front of the ocean because this place is absolutely gorgeous. So I had a quick little photo, and then ended up going for a drive. We ended up coming across a place called Pop's Diner and decided that we might as well check it out. So we did. Once me and 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒄 reached Pop Diners, we came here to check it out. Once we was inside, we realised this was a cute little place to hide away when we didn't want to be around anyone. This is how the idea of girls' weekly date became a thing. Once a week, we would hide up here and gossip to our heart's content. After spending time together and gossiping, we knew it was late enough to head back to the city and go to bed. I was loving having my best friend in town. I couldn't wait for my sister to come into town, so the three musketeers would be back together again. So that's it for today's story. The next day, I had a wonderful long night's sleep. I had woken up and come to work at 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒪. I thought I'd open up for a bit while I waited for Seb to arrive into town so I could go and take him for some food like we normally do. While working, I saw Dirk and somebody called Manny who used to work here before taking a month out of the city. It was so nice to meet someone else in the city who worked at the bar, as I loved all my colleagues. While working, Scrandolph came in for a drink. I got him a drink. And then all three of us, when we figured out we had enough of working, went to the hospital and saw that Sebastian was on duty. While there, Sebastian then asked me if he could go on a date to Pizza This, which I said yes. While on a day here with Sebastian, he finally asked me to be his girlfriend, which was really, really nice, and of course I said yes. I was over the moon and I couldn't wait to tell all my friends. I knew they would be so excited for me. Once we'd eaten our pizza, we went back to the hospital so that I could tell everyone the happy news, because I was so freaking excited. While at the hospital, we all heard an explosion coming from outside. When going to investigate that explosion, we then saw another explosion come from the car park. We realised that it was one of the cars that was on fire that had then got somebody else to catch on fire. We had no idea what to do, which meant that the hospital yet again got cleared away from the public so they can get it sorted in case it was a targeted attack. While that was happening, I saw that Logan, the local reporter if you remember, was in town and phoned to see if 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒄 because Joe could 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒄 wanted to be a reporter. We had all met at Pizza This because I was feeling sentimental and missing Sebastian while we were there. After a few hours had passed, I left to go and find Sebastian to make sure that he was okay. I then decided that, we needed to maybe see if he was at the hospital, to which he was. Once I'd found him, we then decided that we needed to have a private conversation with the detectives to let them know about the theory we had on 𝐵𝓇𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒄. While there, talking to the detectives, someone took a sneaky photo of us all. I still to this day don't know who took that photo or why they took it. After finishing our conversation, me and Sebastian went to fetch 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒄 and to have a drive around. We ended up at the pier for a little bit. Sebastian then mentioned he remembered that me and 𝐵𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒄 had a girly date at the diner and asked if we could have a trip there. As I loved the look of Pop's Diner, I said yes and we all drove up there. After we had come down to Pop's Diner, we had found out there was a beach behind it. There was also a bonfire there. We decided to have a sit around the bonfire for a while, a nice chat between us three and just, have some good old good Seb, Ellie and 𝐵𝑜𝑜𝓀𝑒𝐻𝑜𝓅𝑒𝒳𝒑 time. After we had enough, we all called it a night, headed back to the city and went to bed. I felt so lucky that I had the best life in quite a city. The next day, I woke up in the city. I decided to phone Sebastian just to check in and make sure that he was okay. You know, I was now his girlfriend. He then invited me back to Piece of This because it was our little spot. This is where he asked me to be his girlfriend. After grabbing a pizza, we then went to speak to Detective Hawkins about the night before and update him on some things that they knew because Hawkins had no clue about anything. After we came and spoken to Hawkins, we then decided that, we would just disappear back to the hospital because we needed to sort out this whole take heart business. As we was walking away from the PD, somebody had yet again took another photo of us, but we still had no clue who was the mysterious photographer. But at least we had got the whole detective situation sorted. We then went back to the hospital and bumped into April. I asked April what she thought about Take Heart to find out if she was part of Take Heart's weird family. And then April left and I was with Seb, Orion and Logan. We had a chat about everything that's going on, but the only issue was Orion was now acting strange. All of a sudden, Seb got a medic down alert. We had to rush off. He asked if I wanted to tag alone because most of the EMS had been taken by Take Heart and he didn't know who to trust but me. So I said yes, went down. We had to rescue April. On the way back to the hospital, April asked if we could go by 7 Years lab. This is 7 Years lab. This is where April told us to take us. When we got here, we then found out Susie had been compromised by Take Heart and had followed us here, so Adrenaline suggested that he'll take some of us to his secret location and keep us safe until we're okay to go. Adrenaline then took us to the arcade, which is his happy place. So this is Adrenaline's happy place. This is the arcade. While inside the arcade, me, Sebastian, Charlie and Levi and LeChuck. It didn't take me long to learn that Levi had also been compromised, with all the weird things he was saying, that LaRue was pregnant, and he was just acting very strange. LeChuck was walking around. Me and Sebastian didn't have a clue what to do or say. After a while, April turned up and I went over to have a chat with her because I was worried about her. After learning how much in love she was with Take Heart and then to have this happen, I really wanted to check in and make sure she was okay. During the conversation, Gogo ended up phoning me. After asking Adrenaline what to do, he just said to lie to her that she couldn't know the truth. I lied and said that me and Seb was on a date far out of the city and wanted some alone time, and I couldn't get back in time to see her. Luckily, she brought the lie and told me to have fun, and I said I will do, don't worry. After a while, Adrenaline had to keep a watchful eye on everyone, especially Levi, because of him saying some really strange things. Throughout all the drama and the chaos, Sebastian really looked after me and wouldn't leave my side. After a while, Adrenaline came back and said that everyone could go, though they had to run and not look back. No one truly understood why until they got outside and saw a helicopter landing straight over there. Inside the helicopter was Take Heart and LaRue, but they also had Brooks and Kennedy. Me and Sebastian left running towards the hospital to get away from everything, as we didn't want to be caught in the middle of anything. After arriving back at the hospital, we got the car and we went to fetch Gogo before going for a drive. We ended up arriving at Benny's. While there, we'd bumped into someone in a really bad car with a Christmas horn who turned out to be Keith. While leaving Benny's, Seb got an EMS call that he had to attend. As he was driving, he got hit and flipped upside down. Luckily, Keith was following behind and managed to ram into the car to get it turned over. As they arrived to the location of the call, they couldn't find whoever was downed. But Seb was needed at another call and they had to rush back to the hospital, as it was Levi who was needing help because of a gunshot. As they all arrived back to the hospital to look after Levi, I stayed in the lobby and saw Keith driving to the hospital. I knew I needed a photo as proof. After taking the photo, LeChuck came out to tell Keith that this was a hospital and not a parking lot, and that he needed to take the car outside of the hospital. Keith then parked the car outside and ended up coming back into the hospital on foot and disappearing. Once Levi was stable and it was okay for Seb to leave, he then came and grabbed me and Gogo, and we all went back to Benny's to finish what they had started doing earlier the day before, all the EMS calls. While at Benny's, Keith came back again and started blasting his horn again, to which I thought it was funny because I love Christmas, but Gogo and Seb was getting annoyed. After a couple of minutes, Seb phoned LeChuck to ask if he was allowed to ram Keith's car out of the way, as he was blocking Sebastian and Benny's, to which LeChuck said he was busy and to phone Owl, and asked for him to sort it. Sebastian then phoned Owl to come and help with the Keith situation before Keith got killed by either Sebastian or Go-Go. After a couple of minutes, Owl turned up and spoke to Keith and said that if he doesn't turn the music down, he will get a noise complaint, and asked if he could kindly move out of the way so that we could all leave. Not long after that, Keith managed to move and we all went on a drive. Once arriving at Pillbox, Sebastian left to go to bed, and Willie phoned asking if he could tag along. Me, Willie and Go-Go went to Pop's Diner to the beach again for a while. We spent a couple of hours there. On the way back home, Go-Go and Willie ended up having a bit of an accident, and I had to phone Owl for help. Owl came and collected them too, while I started driving back to the hospital. On the drive back, I came across a police car with the other two in, but no driver. I then saw Owl down, went to fetch him, and now I had to drive all three of them to the hospital. After that being the most eventful day I've had, I decided to call it a night and went to bed.